Crazy. Illegal migration 6 days ago.
Mr. Nowrasteh, sorry, forgive me, I apologize, sir.
Nowrasteh.
Nowrasteh, I'm sorry.
It's very
Not that I
poorly
couldn't pronounce
spelled.
it. I almost really can't see that far anymore. So, the Boston Marathon bombing, the bombing of the Twin Towers in the 1990s, 93 February, if I'm correct. 9/11. I consider those terrorist attacks through terrorist organizations. And I've heard some statistics from my colleagues that that's not considered a foreign-born terrorist attack because they were documented or registered in the United States. Can you clarify that for me?
So in the data that I have and have presented in my testimony, those were all conducted by foreign-born terrorists, so they would count under that umbrella of terrorism committed by foreigners.
That have been committed in the United States?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have a list of 230 foreign-born terrorists who have either committed or attempted to commit and were convicted.
Because I need clarification on that, because the challenging part for myself, I'm just going to speak for Morgan here, is that I can't go home to my folks when we're talking about, so I'm very laser focused on the terrorist watch list and those folks that are coming across that meet that category, okay? Because I can't say they were foreign-born terrorists, but they were legalized in America, so we can't count that.
So they're definitely foreign-born if they were born outside of the United States. Even if somebody is a legal immigrant and a terrorist and becomes an American citizen, I count them as foreign-born, just like the U.S. government does.
Okay, when I speak about the terrorist watch list and those individuals that are listed on it, have you ever been in Iraq, Afghanistan, Africa? Have you ever been to a theater of war?
No.
Have you ever experienced anything catastrophic? Have you ever been engaged in a gunfight? That may be a silly question, but I need to know these answers.
I have had a gun pointed at me, but I have not been involved in a
amazing.
gunfight.
It's an amazing experience, isn't it?
That's a nice euphemism for it.
Yes, it is. I'm trying to be genuine in here, and I'm trying to be simple in here. I guess the best way to say that. So, have you ever read the book or seen the documentary Terror of Beslan, the school siege in Russia?
I've not seen the documentary, but I've seen footage of that attack.
Okay, so that's the terrorist organization came in and took over a school. Certain number, and it was a massacre, right? And when I see this list, the terror list, is what I'm talking about here. My concern is it only takes one. It only takes one terrorist to perform an extreme act of violence. Man, me and that man right there, Mr. Crane, have been in multiple gunfights, multiple VBIED explosions, multiple suicide bombs overseas in the theater of war. And a lot of times, it was one person. One. And if we can do anything and everything we can to prevent, capture, kill any terrorist that's coming into this country, that's what needs to happen. I walked shoulder to shoulder with Mr. Goldman in New York City 2 weeks ago on 9/11. 9/11. The museum is beyond humbling. I don't want anything like that to ever happen again in this country. And it seems like and I hate to say this, but we're getting caught in the political jargon right now. That should not happen when we're trying to protect American citizens.
Right.
Period. So I'm glad you clarified the fact that we have had attacks on our country from foreign-born entities. And moving forward, paying close attention and getting away from the jargon that we don't need makes it easier on us. And the numbers that you rattled off, I understand you're a statistician. They're great. But even if we're talking about 0.07%, that's still one person. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, it is. I'm not saying do nothing. All I'm saying is don't do everything. We have to consider, you have lots of different security threats. You have to allocate scarce resources to save the greatest number of lives.
If we don't do everything, that one thing we don't do is going to get us killed.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is impossible to do everything. Do you want to spend 100% of U.S. GDP on counterterrorism?
Okay.
Interesting question.
I don't know if you know my background or not, or that man sitting over there, but our job was to do everything, period. And that's why we were 99.9% successful. Thank you for your time, sir.
Ha.
Mr. Magaziner.
Nice. I like that. In your face. He's like, bro, you haven't done anything. Yeah, you had a gun pointed at you. Oh my God. So scary. You learned so much in that, huh? Meanwhile, this guy, he's been in multiple situations and has learned a lot from this, knowing the importance and the seriousness and the complexity of these individuals coming into our country doing bad things. He's like, we need to make that top priority instead of being this political arm for the government. Going after political rivals. We should be going after actual bad guys that are trying to come into the country and do harm to the citizens of the United States. It's your boy Kicking It with Timmy B. Forbes breaking news. I'm going to leave that in the link below. Have you ever been engaged in a gunfight? ? Morgan Luttrell has tense questioning of witness. Shout out to Mr. Luttrell. Let's get it.